Invocation and pledge by the Honorable Travis Reeder.
Mr. Chair, as we go into our invocation, I'd ask, I talked to Sheriff Foster this week. They've got Danny Gillum, who most of us know and love, has been diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia, on top of the only other two officers that they have fighting cancer. So if we could remember those in our invocation this morning, please.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, continue to guide us and continue to bless us and continue to take care of us as we go through each day, every minute, and every hour. Dear Heavenly Father, bless you for waking us up this morning, because God, we don't know at no point in time what may happen in that particular day. Dear Heavenly Father, continue to bless us as we continue to do the work necessary for the county of Newberry. Continue to bless us and guide us in the right way. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all that you've done and all that you're going to continue to do. These blessings we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. Appreciate you coming out to participate in county government. Apologize for being a little late, but fortunately or unfortunately, that was going on before it, and it just ran over a little bit. All right, item number one, additions, deletions. Do we have any additions or deletions?
Mr. Chair, I would have an amendment to the agenda, please. If we could consider moving, it looks like we will be in extended period of time in executive session tonight. If we could consider as a body moving our public comments to 10C rather than after the two executive sessions, I think that would be a good idea for us, considering the length that we anticipate those to go, if nobody has a problem with that.
I'll second that.
All right, got a motion second. All right, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Or amended?
I make a motion that we adopt the agenda as amended.
Okay, motion second by Mr.
Sheila?
Hip. All in favor? It is unanimous. All right, item number two, ordinance number 10-24-21, an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance of the County of Newberry adopted on June 20, 2016, so as to amend the zoning map, acting on a request to amend the official zoning map established, codified in Chapter 153 of the County Code of Newberry Ordinances, so as to rezone one real estate parcel totaling 8.99 acres designated as TMS parcel number 523-18 from RS Single Family Residential to R2. This is the public hearing. Do we have a motion to be the public hearing? Motion by Mr. Shealy.
A second.
All in favor? All right. Anybody in the public to speak? Let me get Ms. Works. Can you speak to that one right quick before we go any further, so that everybody knows? Because we got 3 of these, I think, tonight, so that everybody knows which one they're supposed to get up and speak to.
This is Counts Road.
Okay.
They're going from RS Single Family Residential to R2 Rural for the placement of a manufactured home.
Okay. Counts Road.
Counts Road.
All right. That's it. All right. Do we have anybody to speak on behalf of Counts Road?
Counts Road.
You come to the podium and speak. Say your name. and
My name
address.
is Christopher Carter.
Christopher Carter.
Yes, sir, I'm the property owner.
Okay.
Just want to take a moment to introduce myself and explain to them. I'm trying to do a bunch of upgrades to the property, beautify the property, and I do plan on making it a forever home for me and my son. In lieu, that's really all I had to say. I just wanted to stop in and introduce myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Carter? Hearing none, anybody else to speak pro or con regarding this particular item? Hearing none, we'll declare public hearing closed. Do we have a motion to be the third reading? Motion by Mr. Shealy, second by Ms. Arrowood. Any additional discussion on council? All in favor? It is unanimous. Item number 3, ordinance number 10-25-21, an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance of the County of Newberry adopted June 20th, 2016, so as to amend the zoning map, acting on a request to amend the official zoning map established, codified, Chapter 153 of the County of Newberry Code of Ordinances so as to rezone 2 real estate parcels totaling 13.38 acres designated as TMS parcel number 27-13-44 and 27-13-47 from RS Single Family Residential to R2. Okay, Katie?
Okay, the property owner asked if I could get all of you a letter she wrote, so admin sent those out. I have copies if anybody would like to see this, because I do have some clarifications to make about the letter.
Okay.
Do we need copies of the letter?
All right, now this is the one,
This is for Lake Greenwood.
okay, all right, just want to make sure everybody's aware of which one we're talking about. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
The Lake Greenwood property.
Okay.
This is the one that was before?
I sent it late yesterday.
Yes, right. Okay, yeah, I read through it. Thank you for having a copy of it.
Thank you.
What I would like to address is on page 4, which is actually going to be your page 3. She states that she has spoken to Newberry County Sheriff's Department and Animal Control, who stated that no fines will be applied if she goes ahead and puts the cattle on the property without the rezoning. That may be the situation with them, but for Newberry County Zoning Department, if cattle goes out there and we are made aware of it, we will take our process of meeting with the property owner to discuss that that's a violation, and we will give them 30 days to correct the violation. After that, we will move forward with a summons to court. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear, that we will have a procedure in, or we do have procedures in place for anyone who violates our zoning ordinance. Secondly, she has in there about attaching that she could already attach a business to her property in the RS zoning. Home occupations are allowed in RS, meaning she could work from home, could be like computer or something that's within the house that would require no extra traffic, no sign. So basically something that you're in your house and your neighbor doesn't know that you're working, okay? In R2 rural, there are allowances within that district that would allow her to have a business, as long as special exceptions or special conditions are met. So I wanted to clarify that as well, that in the RS, which she is currently zoned, a home occupation is allowed within the home, but not a secondary structure. If you have any questions on the letter, on that particular section, I'll be glad to answer what I can. I don't feel like I need to get into the other part of that letter.
Okay, questions or comments from anybody on council regarding the letter? All right, Danielle, if we change the zoning on this, I know we got the list the other day, but can you just state what all would be going on there what could go on there if we changed it?
I've got the list here. I'm just going to throw out a couple, okay?
Okay.
You could have animal shelters, garages, of course, for your personal vehicles, an elementary school, places of worship, an automotive part. Now, that's permitted, but when you get into such as a bakery, clothing accessory stores, general merchandise stores, jewelry store, sporting goods store, which is kind of what's alluded in the letter, those are all conditional, meaning there's a checklist that would have to be met up front before we would issue a zoning permit, such as buffer zones, the layout, how much traffic's going to be coming in and out, such like that. So that would all have to be addressed prior to us issuing a zoning permit.
All right, there has been comment regarding a mobile home park could potentially go in there if we rezoned it.
not in RS. In R2, that is not allowed either. And it's a different zoning classification for a mobile home park with certain amount of acreage.
Okay.
Mobile home park would have to be an RG, general residential.
Mobile homes would be allowed there.
A mobile home would be allowed in R2, but not a mobile home park.
Yeah.
Now, she could subdivide the property into
what I was-
1 acre lots and put a mobile home on each one, but not a established mobile home park.
Okay. All right, any questions from council members? If not, thank you. We have a motion to speed the public hearing. Motion by Mr. Reader, second by Mr. Shealy. All in favor? All right, anybody from the public? We have, what Mr. Cromer came up here a while ago, we have multiple sheets, but everybody signed up on the same one, so I don't know who's wanting to speak on this one and who's not. So if you're wanting to speak regarding this particular one at a time, come to this podium, speak your name, and you've got roughly 3 minutes to express your concerns.
Hello, everyone, again. I'd like to introduce myself real quick. Again, my name's Dan Swenson. I own property on 37 Cypress Point Court, just adjacent to the property in question. I'm a Clemson graduate in agriculture economics and agribusiness management, and my fiance and I own a agriculture operation in the Silver Street community. We run cattle, cow-calf, and stocker cattle, and I also work for a agriculture company as a consultant for livestock nutrition, and I work with producers from all across the state and in Newberry County. So with that being said, we're just adamant supporters of agriculture within not only the state, but in Newberry County. I mean, I can't stress how much we're committed to seeing it thrive and continue, especially in Newberry County. That being said, we adamantly disapprove of the rezoning of this property on the basis of that it's adjacent to our entire community and built into our entire community as it was developed and subdivided and created in its origin of our entire neighborhood right there on Lake Greenwood and the Cypress Point and Hickory Bay communities. A lot of my disagreement comes with the long-term uses of agriculture. We're going to give you a packet here in just a second that kind of, and each ordinance is highlighted to the question that you asked Mr. Livingston about what could be allowed on that property per Newberry County. We have all that listed in that packet and highlighted. And so from that regard, it's not so much the current landowner that we're disagreeing with from that standpoint. It's the future landowners that could affect our property and our property values and what we've built in our small community there on the lake. That land was never intended to be agriculture. It hasn't been agriculture, and we would like to see it stay in residential to be developed into our community as it was intended to be. The immediate, just kind of surface level disapproval of the rezoning comes from noise, light, smell, visual, and water pollution that could be in the area, which would just be a continued regression of the values and what our community is being built upon. And in addition to the immediate, those kind of surface level immediate issues, I would like to just address real quick some of an immediate short-term issue that has been brought to light just in recent weeks, and that is that the current landowner has expressed some verbal intention on multiple occasions to operate CWP classes and build a gun range on that property, and that has been expressed to several members of our community. That's brought to light some of those long-term concerns, and it's brought it right more, it's turned them into immediate concerns that we were fearful of, regardless of who owned that property. So that's been very discerning to us and multiple community members to hear, as you'll hear. So I did want to address that, and Just kind of preface some of the verbiage that you're going to hear in some of the public letters that we have compiled from members of our community. And some of that verbiage will include the use of firearms, and that is in reference to the verbal intent made by her to multiple residents and the concern that they have. It's not a far-fetched idea that they conjured. It's something that, they've been made aware of, and it's something that they wanted to address. And I will say as well that I am a Second Amendment supporter and a gun owner, and I have no problem with any of those, much like agriculture. And I think there's a time and a place, and in the proximity to all of our residences, I don't believe that it's the respectful or appropriate place to operate such business.
Your time's basically up, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you. Any questions for Dan?
Thank you for all your time, too, the past several meetings.
All right, Danielle?
Good afternoon. I am not going to take too much time because I know we've all been here before, and I will reiterate that we definitely do not wish this to be rezoned into R2. The booklets that I'm giving you, I promise everyone has a map this time, are just for easeability of following along. The first one is the letter you guys got last time that was given to our community and the start of the petition to not have this rezoned due to the current owner expressing wanting to put livestock, have CWP classes, put a gun range, and among other things on there, such as a mobile home or a camper. So the next page is the map that I took this map straight off of GIS, and the property in question that used to be 5 parcels, it used to be 2713-48, -44, -45, and -46, is now combined into 2 lots. So just so you are aware, it was 5 lots at one time. That property in question is in red, and then your yellow ones are everyone that has signed the petition. So everyone within the area of that property is highly opposed to it going to R2 rural. The one in gray is somebody that is under contract right now to purchase those 3 lots and those 2 houses, and they have verbally signed our contract, or the petition. But unfortunately, we couldn't get with them quick enough. But they are in support of keeping it zone R2, or I'm sorry, RS, single-family residential. So for essence of time, I'm not going to go through Mr. Perillo's letter again, but he and his wife did sign, along with Richard and Rebecca Basil, myself and Dan Swenson, John and Diane Short, Earl and Donna Johnson, Donna and Robert Stafford, and they did write a letter, which is it okay if I read? I know I'm going to go over 3 minutes.
You got 50 seconds.
50 seconds? Okay. All right. Well, you can read everyone that's in there. Okay. And then we also got a letter from the Newberry Soil and Water Conservation District concerning the runoff and hazard of the potential animal waste. And I have not seen an animal waste management plan from the new owner. But in the 4th tab, or I'm sorry, the 5th one with concerns, everything is out there with pictures from the plat A, B, C, and D, where you can see directly from that property to the lake, there will be waste. And then the very back is where you were asking the question about the codes. Everything is highlighted in that 6th section about what is allowed and what is not with R2. So, sorry, I know that was a lot of information.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Any questions for Danielle? All right, thank you. All right, anyone else to speak on behalf of this particular one? You come to the podium and state your name, my friend.
Thank you very much for your time. I had the pleasure of meeting 3 of you in the hallway. My name's Mike Perillo. I'm one of the residents of this community, and I would never try to compete with my young friends there. They described everything very elegantly. I'd like you to also consider this. There's a lot of us that have moved out to this lake. We have worked and saved our whole lives. None of the homes are palatial. They're very modest, but we all worked very hard for them. There is at least 2 families other than mine that are raising grandchildren in this community. I want you to consider that with the possibilities of what will be put on that property if it's rezoned, okay? My biggest concern is there are 3 mental health care professionals that live in that community. I myself have given clinical anesthesia as a nurse anesthetist for 4.5 decades. So there are 4 people in that community and others in other ways that have always been in the healthcare profession. My concern is the mental health of the community as a whole and their serenity and their peace of mind. Obviously, the financial considerations that could be influenced are tremendously for our concern, but it's also our mental health, okay? We're a very close-knit group, even though we got a little distance, and we all like that. When Labor Day hits, it gets real quiet out at our little corner of heaven, and we like to keep it that way. And I thank you so much for your time and your consideration.
Any questions from Mr. Perillo? Thank you, Mike. All right, anybody else on here that signed up for this particular item? All right, comments from council members at this point? All right, do we have a motion that this be the end of public hearing? Motion. Second by Mr. Reader, all in favor? All right, comments from council members?
This was my comment last time. This started out as a subdivision. No matter if you put the lots together, it's still legally part of that subdivision. And we had pictures, or any of us that have ridden down there, it's moderate stick-built homes. And I just don't feel it's the right thing to take it out of the subdivision and change it to where it could allow all these other uses.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak to the topic before we take a vote?
I just, in looking at that map and knowing the area, I just think that this is inconsistent with the use of the rest of the neighborhood. There's a church right on around the curve, and it just seems inconsistent with the setup of the land there. I think it would be an undue burden on the rest of the property owners.
Chairman,
Mr. Scott?
I've got several calls pertaining to this issue, and all of them had negative ideas about it. I even had a call today concerning might want to put a milk dairy there, to raise cows and to milk cows there. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I had calls concerning the issue, that they definitely don't want it there, and they don't want to waste run to Greenwood Lake from the farm.
Okay, other comments? All right. Do we have a motion this be the third reading?
I make a motion it be the
Third reading? Have a second on the third reading? Mr. Shealy? Okay, any additional discussion? All in favor of this third reading? All opposed? It is unanimous, so it is defeated. All right, item number 4, an ordinance approving the transfer of certain property located in Newberry County, South Carolina. Mr. Alcantara.
Mr. Chairman, just before you get to the public hearing, I need to mention 2 things. This was advertised as ordinance number 11-26-21. It's correctly identified on the agenda. It is 10-26-21. And it did not make this cut, but this is related to Project Sunrise.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion that this be the public hearing? Motion by Mr. Shealy, second by Mr. Reader. All in favor? All right. Anybody from the public to speak pro or con regarding this one? Hearing none, we declare public hearing closed. Do we have a motion to be the third reading? Motion by Mr. Hipp, second by Ms. Arrowood. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous. Item number 5, ordinance number 10-27-21, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of tax and incentive agreement by and among Newberry County, South Carolina, the county, and a company identified for the time being as Project Sunrise Operating Company and a company identified for the time being as being Project Sunrise Real Property Owner, each acting for itself, one or more affiliates and/or other project sponsors, collectively the companies, pursuant to which companies shall be entitled to certain negotiated fees in lieu of ad valorem taxes with respect to the establishment of the certain facilities in the county, the project, and 2, the addition of the project to multi-county industrial park. 3, the provision of certain special source revenue credits in connection with the project, and 4, other matters relating thereto. This is the second reading. Do we have a motion this be the second reading? Motion by Mr. Shealy, second by Ms. Arrowood. Anybody want to make any comments from the administrative staff? Tony, Jay?
Mr. Chairman, without going into, excuse me, a lot of detail, item number 5 as item number 4 also relates to Project Sunrise. And this is the layout, if you will, of the incentive package for that economic development project.
Mr. Chairman, when we had our discussion on this fee in lieu of agreement before, there were some revisions requested by Ray, our attorney, I believe, and we were to incorporate those changes into this.
Mr. Hipp, I'm not seeing any draft that shows that inclusion. This is carried over from what was presented and what you reviewed at the executive session. I know those changes should be made. I can't tell you that they've been made at this point. I didn't receive anything. I don't know if Mr. Farmer is here and can answer that or not.
Mr. Farmer is here.
Yes, sir. I don't believe those changes have been made.
We will probably need to see those, or hopefully see those before
Third reading. I will go along with second reading, but, you know, we need to make sure those things are incorporated. They protect the county, and I want that incorporated before third reading.
Yes.
I agree.
All right. Based on those comments, all in favor of second reading? It is unanimous. Item number 6, an ordinance to amend the budget ordinance for the fiscal year 2021, ordinance number 412-21, to provide for revised revenue and expenditure appropriations related to the capital purposes of Newberry County. This is the first reading. Do we have a motion this be the first reading? Motion by Ms. Arrowood, second by Mr. Reader. Tony, would you please explain?
I can, Mr. Chairman. This is the first time you've actually seen this item. As you noted, this is the first reading of a budget amendment, and the purpose of the budget amendment is to implement, again, Project Sunrise. This ties back to item number 5, the incentive package for Project Sunrise.
All right, so we will have more detail on this as the other item 5 resolves itself too, am I correct?
It will track along with the incentive package. It'll get the third reading, I think, one meeting later, because we're first reading today. But again, the amount of the budget amendment, $700,000, ties specifically back to item 5, and will bring those changes that Mr. Hipp indicated back with item number 5. But yeah, and if you need additional information, we can get that for you, but that's...
I think we have it. I just want more of an explanation for those who are thankful we got people in the audience that actually attended tonight, and for us just to do a reading without having some kind of explanation. And also those who may be watching, I think it's better we have a little bit of explanation before we take a vote. All right, we got a motion, we got a second. Any additional discussion on this one? All in favor of first reading? It is unanimous. Council consideration of road name changes, recommended by Planning Commission. Okay, Katie?
Bunny's Place is a private road off of Bethel Church Road. Homeowner decided to name the private road in honor of his wife. Once she found out about this, she does not wish to have the private road named after her for safety and security reasons. They have asked to change the road name to Pope Place. 911 addressing has cleared it. That is Pope Place can be used for that private road. And the private road serves only family land.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, also recommended by the Planning Commission.
Yes, Planning Commission did vote unanimously on the change.
Okay. All right, thanks, Katie. What are the wishes of council?
I make a motion, we approve the renaming of the road.
A motion by Mr. Hips, second by Ms. Arrowood. Any additional discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous. All right, item number 8, consideration to accept proposal for the E911 recording and logging system at the Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Office.
Okay, thank you. We solicited proposals to install a new recording system for the 911 system. We received 2 responses, and they were evaluated by myself, Ben Chapman with the Sheriff's Office, and Wesley Bowen with the Sheriff's Office. We do recommend that the highest-ranked firm, Carolina Recording Systems, be awarded the contract. I'll let Wesley elaborate, but they do request that the second year of maintenance be included at this time. The first year is included in the price of their cost proposal from Carolina Recording Systems.
All right, you've heard the explanation. Would you like to speak?
I can, sir.
You don't mind?
We had budgeted through, what was that budget item under for the recorder?
It's under the 911 system, isn't it?
But it's
It's under the bond.
Lease purchasing. It's under lease purchasing. We had budgeted $100,000 for the recording system. With the new 911 upgrade, we had to make some upgrades to abilities for the recorder. The recorder is used daily for phone and radio traffic for court purposes every day. So we need a good system. The one that we chose was Carolina Recording. The first year and equipment was $72,559, and the second year maintenance agreement was $20,480. So the total cost of year 1 and 2 maintenance and the equipment was $93,039.38, and that was still under the $100,000 that we had budgeted, and we would request your authority to move ahead.
This is the third year? We going into the third year?
This is a new system totally, and it comes with 1 year of maintenance included in the initial. And while we had the money budgeted, we would like to go ahead and pay the second year of maintenance and upgrade cost in there, since we have that amount of money budgeted for it, if possible.
So this gets us through 2 years then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you've heard the recommendation. What are the wishes of council?
I got a couple questions. What were the prices provided by both bidders?
Okay. I gave you Carolina Recording. Do you need me to get it again, or you want to go over it, Crystal?
No, you got it.
Equator was the only other one that gave us a bid. They did not, proposal, they did not meet all the qualifications. Their initial was $46,975 for the equipment in the first year. and then 5,354 maintenance. They only had one tech in the whole state of South Carolina, and it was a Windows-based system and did not match up to what we had asked for qualification-wise.
Are they the only two?
These are the only two
Two
that put in
responses.
responses, yes.
There's a big difference in the two.
The 100,000 that's budgeted, is that for the capital?
Yes, capital outlay. No, not.
Lease purchase.
Lease purchase, excuse me, lease purchase.
But that is a capital purchase. Those are one-time purchases. It's just spread over a period of time. My question is going to deal with the annual maintenance fee of over 20,000, which would then become an operating and maintenance line item in the future.
Our plan is to try to
Not
maintain that through the 911 monies that.
Ledger.
That comes through the state and reimbursements.
So, based on our current operating budget, it would cover the future maintenance that you're talking about, to maintain.
For year 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be able to
Going
maintain
forward.
that. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're not surprised with.
No, sir.
Okay.
Other comments from county council members? Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept this, or what's the wishes of council?
I move to accept the bid.
Moved by Mr. Hipp, accepted, second by Ms. Arrowood. Any additional discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. 9, consideration to accept the bid for structural firefighting gear from Ham Hardware in the amount of $1,739.69 per set, allowing the department to purchase 22 sets.
Okay, we solicited bids on October the 26th, and we received 4 responses. 2 were non-responsive for failure to present the required bid bond in their package, and 1 did not meet all of the specifications in their response. Staff reviewed the responses from Ham and determined that they were the most responsive bidder. Their bid was, like you said, for 1 set, including taxes, $1,739.69. That would allow for the purchase of 22 sets, and that is within the budget constraints.
All right. Anybody got questions for Crystal on this particular one?
Was this part of lease purchasing, or how did this?
No, it's in their
just
capital
their
outlay budget.
Capital outlay.
Other questions?
Yeah, just a quick question. These 22 sets, are they replacing existing?
I'll have to let Tommy answer that.
These are replacing some existing and some new members that we have gotten into the fire service. So the gear is only good for 10-year lifespan, so I am replacing some that are at the end of life. So to answer that question, it's going to all the different departments that are requesting sets to replace ones that are either outdated or they got new members that are certified already.
So when we purchase these, then all our volunteers in the fire services will have their
Everybody
the
will be,
gear
at
that they
this
need.
particular time, we'll be up to date with gear. Now, next year, we'll probably have some more that's getting close to date that we have to replace. And
But I had heard that we had people that were volunteers that didn't have the
This will
equipment.
take care of
So this
those.
is going to make sure everybody has their own personal.
Right, this will take care of those ones that offer those concerns to you.
Okay, other questions? What is the wish of council?
I move that we accept the bid and make the purchase.
Second by Mr. Shealy. Any other discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you.
And just a comment regarding both of those both 8 and 9 agenda items. Thanks for all those who put their life on the line to protect us and provide for this county. We greatly appreciate it. Item number 10, committee reports, personnel and intergovernmental relations. Ms. Catherine Cook, HR Director.
Good evening. Okay, on Monday, November the 1st, the Personnel and Intergovernmental Relations Committee held our quarterly meeting. Ms. Arrowood was elected committee chair. The following item was motion to bring to full council with recommendation for approval at the November 17th County Council meeting. And it is review and discussions of Resolution 02-12, a resolution establishing use charges and policies for certain county-owned properties. The following three items were motion to bring to full council with recommendation for approval at tonight's meeting. The first item is the holiday schedule. The county will observe the Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, November the 25th, and Friday, November 26th. The Christmas holidays will be observed on Thursday, December the 23rd, Friday the 24th, and Monday, December 27th. And the New Year holiday will be observed on Friday, December 31st this year. The second item is the employee Christmas dinner. Due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, the Christmas dinner has been canceled this year. And the third item is the employee Christmas gift cards. In lieu of the Christmas dinner, employees will receive a Christmas gift card in the amount of $100 from Food Lion. Food Lion does offer a 5% discount to purchase the cards. There will be roughly 214 cards purchased. We will also order the library's gift cards, however, they will reimburse the county for their cards. And that's all I have for you tonight.
Okay. Anybody on the committee want to make any comments regarding that?
Those cards actually replaced that dinner, and they normally had been getting a $60. 50, but so they combined it and just given 100. They did that last year, too.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
I'd just like to say, appreciate the job that you're doing. Keep up the good work, and I'd like to make a motion to accept the holiday schedule and the gift card.
Okay. Second on that from Mary. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous. And just for those people out there, even though we're giving them to county employees, we as county council members do not receive those cards. So, FYI.
Always nice to say.
Yes. All right, Public Works and Planning, Mr. Mike Pisano. Front row seat there, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I can be brief because most of you were here through the end of the meeting. Public Works and Planning Committee met immediately prior to this meeting this evening. There was one item on the agenda. It was the discussion of a drainage issue at 46 Raymond Finch. We had a presentation given by Mr. Gene Resch from Carlisle Associates regarding this. That's an engineering firm. The property owner was also present and expressed some concerns. The committee directed staff to set up a meeting on site with the property owner, myself, and committee members, and we will do so. Unless there are any questions, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody on the committee want to make any comments or otherwise? Don't guess there's any action to be taken. Thanks, Mike, and thanks for all you do to try to keep as good a job as you do with all the roads, et cetera. I was telling somebody out in the front a while ago, I got a call complaining about the pothole between Wendy's and Bojangles, and I told them we don't own private parking lots, so it's just amazing sometimes what people perceive. But for the roads that you are responsible for, thank you for doing a great job with taking care of them. All right, I'm gonna go down the list right now and make sure that anybody that, and if I leave anybody out, you'll just have to let me know. The people that signed up for public hearing, we have moved that to 10C so that you don't get tied up with our executive session items and be late getting the opportunity to speak. Let's see, Mary Mills. Did you want to speak? Yes. Okay, if you come to the podium and state. Okay, y'all want to speak together, then you and Randy? All right. Within that gives y'all 6 minutes.
Well, we're speaking concerning the sewer system on Boyness Road,
Sewer plant.
the sewer plant on Boyness Road, and we were here a couple months ago talking to y'all about that.
At that time, y'all told us y'all were gonna investigate it and get back with us. We never heard nothing much from the county councilman, but, the county administrator did call me, talk with him, and Mr. Bumgardner over the
Water and Sewer Authority.
Water and Sewer Authority. Me and him had a real heated conversation. He just told me right quick when I talked with him that I was smelling chicken houses, which is about 5 miles away from me. Your sewer plant's about a little over half a mile away from me. I know the difference between chicken manure and human waste. But
He said that it was a sewer plant and we were gonna smell it.
And then he told me I was the only one doing any complaining. And it was like I was just trying to put a bad name to the plant down there. And after that, we got some dates we'd like to go over with you. How many times we've had to smell this since we've seen y'all last?
Okay, August the 5th, we smelled it and we called Sonia and Brent Richardson. Sonia is with DHEC and Brent Richardson works under Mr. Bumgardner. On the 9th, we called Sonia with DHEC and we also talked with Brent. On the 11th, we called Sonia with DHEC. And on the 17th, we called Sonia with DHEC. On the 18th, we called Sonia with DHEC. On the 19th, we called Sonia with DHEC. We called Brent Richardson, and finally, we ended up calling Mr. Rick Martin. On the 22nd, we called Sonia with DHEC, and we also called Rick Martin again. Okay, that was in August. On September the 5th, we called Sonia with DHEC. On September the 15th, and on the 22nd, we called Sonia with DHEC, and we had talked to Brent Richardson. Okay, October the 2nd, we called Brent Richardson.
And these are the days we smelt it. That's why we called. The smell was so overwhelming at our house, you couldn't go to your yard.
And we called Sonia with DHEC on the 2nd. On the 7th of October, we called Sonia with DHEC. We called Mr. Buddy Livingston. We called Ronnie Cromer.
Which is the senator.
And we called Mr. Rick Martin. On the 11th, we called Sonia with DHEC, and we also called Brent Richardson. Okay, then on October the 30th, we were having a fish fry at our home, and we were in our garage, well...
It's a barn, been converted over, I got rid of my horses.
Into a shop.
And made a shop out of it. We was having a fish fry for friends and family. Had a bunch of people over.
Okay. At 6 p.m., the smell come into
that building
with us cooking and trying to eat. It embarrassed me. We could not hardly eat. We had to move all our family and friends inside.
Into our house.
You can't even
we
go.
We wasn't set up for that.
You can't even go in the yard. Okay, I called Sonia with DHEC at 6:00 p.m. And she said she was going to try to get in touch with someone. I called Brent Richardson, and I got no answer from him. Okay, on October the 31st, at 8:30 p.m., it was so bad that it would make you gag. I called Sonia, I got no answer from her with DHEC. Then I called Brent Richardson. I did get him.
We asked him to come over that night and smell it. Come right then and smell the
And
plant,
he
because we've been saying we're just starting trouble. They don't believe us. I've been pretty much called a liar, and I'm tired of that.
And he refused to come.
Yeah, he
He
wouldn't
just
come.
refused. I mean, and I think that's their responsibility to know what's going on at their plant.
Yeah, if they're gonna call me a liar, at least come check it out.
Okay, on November the 1st, Randy called Mr. Martin, and he called Mr. Ronnie Cromer. At that time, Mr. Martin talked with DHEC, and they signed a new liaison for us to talk with, and her name is Helen, and she called and talked with Randy.
And she's supposed to be gonna keep in contact. She's gonna be on top of this, they say. And we've talked with Mr. Martin again, and Mr. Martin has come over. And I think all of you know who I'm talking about, Rick Martin. He come over himself.
Yes.
If you think I'm lying, call him. He said it was so bad, it made him gag. Now, he's come himself and smelled it. Nobody else would. Now, the other day, Mr. Buddy and Nick and Mr. Bumgardner,
Yeah, that was on the 2nd.
they
November
all
the
come
2nd.
over and met me in my yard there, and we discussed things. Now, me and Mr. Bumgardner talked, and we left on good terms with one another. And all we're asking is to stop the smell. We have checked, it's a law. You're not supposed to smell that plant within 100 feet of the rim of the cesspool. I live 6/10 of a mile away. That's not right for us to have to smell not just city sewer coming off of Lake Murray pumped over there to us.
And, you know, y'all are getting ready to build houses on the end of Jolly Street Road and, 773?
Yeah.
773, and over there by Mid-Carolina Country Club, 773. All that's gonna be pumped over to Boyness Road.
And the new industrial park,
And
they adding all them
yes.
plants, all that's gonna be pumped over to us.
And so all that, if they can't take care of it now, how are they gonna take care of it with all the other?
And we've been promised, they're gonna take care of it, they're gonna take care of it, they're gonna take care of it each time we call. That's why we're back up here.
But we
Tired
just
of
wanted to
talk.
put it on
We'd like to see a
record.
little action.
We wanted to put it on record. You know, since we have to smell this waste, I feel like everyone around the plant should not have to, yeah, our taxes should be cut for having to smell the smell.
Ms. Mills, I've let you go over 2 minutes, so I guess.
And
need to
we
bring
should
it
not
to
have
close.
to pay the taxes.
For that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for being here. All right, Mr. Travis Grimsley?
Oh, one more. Buddy, you said that the other day when you come by and went down by the smoke, you smelled it. A
Yes,
little,
sir.
you said a little.
Mhm, it was not as-
Lady in the house with us told you what it smelled like.
Yes, yes.
It was horrible.
Thank
But
y'all.
you did admit that you smelled it.
Yes, I did. Okay, Mr. Grimsley? Okay, there you are. Couldn't find you.
I'm just being nosy.
Oh, well, you signed up to speak. I want to hear your words of wisdom.
You told me to sign up. I'm just following the rules.
Brent
Yes, sir.
Richardson.
I do have some info I'd like to. Leave with.
There.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time tonight. Just wanted to follow up on the odor issues at the Cannon Street wastewater treatment plant and let you know what the authority's doing. My name's Brent Richardson. I'm the manager of the authority. I've got Daniel Quattlebaum with me here tonight. Our assistant manager has also been involved in this process. One thing I did want y'all to know about Mr. Mills and I've known Mr. Mills since I was a child, and he lived across the street from my grandparents, and we were good friends. I still consider Mr. Mills a family friend, and I want you to know that I respect his opinion and his concerns. But, you know, our operators do work diligently every day to produce good crystal clear effluent at the plant. I did provide some pictures in your handout of what that wastewater looks like when we get it and kind of what it looks like before it's headed to the creek. I know a couple of you, I know Councilman Shealy got a chance to visit the plant the other day and got to see what that water looks like going to the creek. And it really is amazing what our operators do, because if you had it in a bottled water container, you'd have a hard time telling the difference. But part of our daily battle is to reduce wastewater odors. I mean, we deal with something very stinky, and part of our goal is to control those odors. A little bit of background, the Cannons Creek plant is a 950,000 gallon a day plant on Boynest Road. It was put in service in 2006. Currently has available capacity of right at 400,000 gallons per day. And we do have 2 licensed operators that visit this plant every day, and that's Christmas Day too. So they don't, we are required by DHEC, by our MPDS permit, to visit the plant daily. Couple of the most prevalent locations for odors at the plant are the influent screen, the sludge digester, and at air release valves located along the collection mains. I think for any of you guys that live in that area, Nick will know what I'm talking about, Mr. Livingston, but we have air release valves. The 2 most prevalent that we had trouble with were at the corner of 773 and Jolly Street Road, and one at the 773 at the golf course. Anybody that travels that route a lot remembers when those air release valves will knock you down. We've worked diligently. We do a lot of chemical feed addition to knock that down. I hope all y'all will tell me this much better, if not.
Lot better.
Yeah, not almost gone. But anyway,
You've had your
Yes.
time, it's not trying to cut you off, but we just.
I would like to say too, sometimes, you know, these odors are primarily caused by hydrogen sulfide gas, and the presence of the odor is often dependent on weather conditions. We can have, I mean, I'm sure that Mr. Mills will tell you, days when it's hot, it's worse. Days when it's humid conditions, foggy, cloudy, I mean, that stuff wants to lay low to the ground. DHEC does require us to develop and implement an odor abatement plan. And so when concerns come in, when they get calls, Ms. Johnson gets calls like this, they're required to come in, review our best management practices, and make sure we're, you know, doing everything we can. When Sonia came in August, they did come out several days in a row, gave us some recommendations. Their recommendations included increasing the chemical feed dosages to help with the odor abatement. We did implement these recommendations. In the odor abatement plan, I want to let you know that what we're currently doing to combat odors, we feed a chemical called Totalox, which is a permanganate solution at 5 duplex pump stations in the collection systems. And this Totalox is injected in an effort to reduce odors before it gets to the plant. So this chemical does take time to react with the wastewater in the line, but your goal is to get a good residual of the chemical in the system and hopefully to reduce odors throughout that distance. It's not a masking agent. It is injected as a long-term solution. Our most recent additions for chemical feed sites have been at Highlands Landing Pump Station And most recently, Mr. Mills, we installed one at Pomeroy School. We have some concerns. There's a map there that shows the lines on Boynest Road and the line coming from Pomeroy School. You'll see some air release valves shown on Boynest Road. A couple of those air release valves are in the vicinity of Mr. Mills' house. One of our concerns, we're trying to look through any and every concern that might be causing these issues. We have some concerns that maybe it could be affecting Mr. Mills' odor complaints, the air release valves. So we started a feed up earlier this week at Pomeroy to see if that'll make a difference. You can tell me, I'm sure it won't take long to know. It will take some time for that chemical to get in the system. It's not you can't flip the chemical feed switch and it changes like that. It's gonna take a little time. We also feed a product called Carousel. We feed this 24/7 at the Cannon Street plant to control odors there. We feed a product called Desulfonator, which is a manually applied deodorizer at the influence screens. And we do plan to add a mist system to make this a 24/7 application. In case anybody wonders what this kind of thing costs, we budget right at $30,000 a year for odor control. And I know we need every bit of it. So, in conclusion, just wanted to say that we are actively working to control wastewater odors in the Boynest area, that our odor control chemical feed systems are scalable. In other words, when you have more flow coming in the plant, we simply have to increase our feed of the odor control chemicals to, based on influent flow. Odor control will not affect our ability to provide sewer service in the future. And Mr. Mills, Mr. and Mrs. Mills, I want y'all to know, my goal is for y'all not to have to bother your county council members, not to have to bother the state senator and Representative Martin. And our goal is that we can help you with your problem through our actions. And the other thing I want to let you know, these guys they recommend appointments to our board, and then the governor appoints our board members. But we would love for y'all to attend our monthly board meeting. If you've ever got a concern that Daniel and I cannot take care of, please feel free. Our board meeting's open to the public third Thursday of every month. Yes, sir. Third Thursday, 5 o'clock. It's at our main office on C.R. Coon Highway. Same room we met, Mr. Mills, same room. But we would love for y'all to come. Chairman Livingston, this time I'd like to ask if any of your fellow council members might have any questions.
Brent.
Anybody got any questions or follow-up?
Yeah, Brent, you did say there may be a problem with the feed coming from Pomeroy, possibly. You said
there's a possibility. We started looking at, like I said, on that map. There's I think 5 air release valves between Pomeroy Elementary School. Mm-hmm. It's the one you got open there, and the plant. And so one of them is near a couple of them are near the intersection of 219 and Boynest. A couple are really close to Mr. Mills' home. And so it'll take 7 to 14 days before we know if this works. But we're just at this point trying, any and all avenues to help Mr. and Ms. Mills with their issue. So,
gotcha.
Brent, these air release valves, there does appear to be, I think I'm looking at this correctly, one of your maps that has the triangles on it. Those triangles represent your air release.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
There does appear to be areas I don't see any homes nearby, maybe. What is the cost, and is it arbitrary where you place those air relief valves, or is it what are the restrictions on where you release that air?
Yes, sir. These air release valves have to be located at the top of the, any hill. So they have to be where we would be most likely to get a pocket of air in the force main. Mm-hmm. So they're located, they're based off our survey of construction drawings. and they're located at an actual high point. You know, it may be a little hill, go back into a valley, that, it'll have one on that hill, comes back up, it'll have one at the next hill. So,
You can't just put them anywhere, what you're saying.
we can't really adjust, you know, where we put them. Now, you will see the one in red is straight across from Mr. Mills' house. We cut that one off. And it's not best engineering practices to have the air release valves off, because there's some risk involved with doing that, because they're also they're air vacuum valve combination. So if you had a line break and that sudden flow of air in that line, I mean, it's a possibility you could cause a vacuum on the line and cause a pipe failure. So we certainly can't go cut 5 of them off, but we certainly could cut one off, and we cut that one off in front of Mr. Mills' home.
When was that one cut off, Brent?
Sir?
When was that one cut off?
That one's been off for quite some time. It hasn't improved Mr. Mills' situation. I mean, that one didn't improve his situation. The primary focus right now is pulmonary gardening system, which we just don't know. We're gonna try, and then the influence screens. And we really think we may, once we get our mist system installed, influence screens, we're hoping that'll help us.
Okay. Current budget, $30,000. Of course, we don't dictate the budget on that. Is that enough to cover what is needed to make this work?
Yes, sir. At this time, yes, sir. Yes.
And I guess then, are there other systems throughout the state or around, whether it be county, municipalities, or otherwise, that has a similar system that maybe could be looked at to try to?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Very procedural.
Yes, sir. I mean, we've looked at a lot of different options for, before we chose a chemical to feed. And, but these chemicals we're using are widely used across the state. Yes, sir.
And again, I guess as council members, we really only appoint people. We don't have a whole lot of authority over that, but it is our responsibility to try to protect our citizens and to have a reasonable situation. And I say reasonable, we talked about, and I think Mr. Mills and Ms. Mills, we talked about, 15 times in 3 months is kind of overbearing. Once a year, once every quarter or something, you might would have it, but 15 times is something we definitely need to try to see, can we work with someone to curtail that problem.
Yes, sir. And we, if we've got a specific activity going on at the plant, like when we press sludge, we always contact Mr. Mills, let them know. We got some activity coming up that's gonna cause some issues, and we do try to stay in touch, so. But yes, sir, I agree. We're hopeful that we can get this thing reduced, so.
All right, any other comments from council members?
With the coming of the 90-home subdivision and the industrial park, you have ample capacity to handle all that with no increased odor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As we mentioned, the odor control feed rate is just based on your influent flow. And so we can definitely adjust that, as flow increases. So we always, are looking for additional capacity, because as you guys know, with houses, we can plan on that pretty good. With an industry, an industry could walk in tomorrow, and Mr. Rick will tell you they might want that whole 400,000. A 200 lot subdivision would take 30,000 gallons. So, but with the industrial development and the focus that we've all got on jobs in the community, which I think the council's done a tremendous job at creating jobs in the county, then that's going to be our focal point in the upcoming months with making sure we got enough capacity.
Thank you, Brent.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments? All right, thank you, Brent, for coming. Mr. Quattlebaum, you signed up. Do you want to speak, or you're?
No, sir, I'll yield my time.
Okay. All right, thank y'all for all that. Now, did I oversee anybody who had decided they wanted to speak? Okay, thank you. One comment that was made, I think there was a comment made that there's going to be a subdivision beside the golf course. There's not a subdivision going up right beside the golf course. That is an economic development project, not a subdivision. Just want to make sure, curtail that from getting out in the public. All right, thank y'all, and thank council for moving public comments ahead of executive session, because I don't think y'all wanted to wait here that long. All right, item number 11, executive session part 1, code section 30-4-70A2, discussion of negotiations, incident proposal, contractual arrangements, and proposed sale or purchase of property. The receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to a pending, threatening, or potential claim or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, settlement of a legal claim or position of the public agency and other adversary situations involving their assertion against the agency or of a claim, discussion of matters incident to proposed contractual arrangements and related to the proposed location, expansion, or provision of services encouraging location or expansion of industries or other business in the area served by the public body. Do we have a motion to go into executive session regarding this? Motion by Mr. Reader, second by Ms. Arrowood. Any discussion by council? All in favor? Who all do we need present for this, Mr. McDonald?
Just Mr. Todd Kerr.
Okay. All right. If everyone else would please leave, we'll
Mr. Chairman, Newberry County Council went into executive session for discussion of negotiations incident to propose contractual arrangements and proposed sale or purchase of property, the receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, settlement of legal claims for the position of the public agency, and other adversary situations involving the assertion against the agency of a claim, discussion of matters incident to proposed contractual arrangements and related to the proposed location expansion or the provision of services encouraging location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body. No action was taken in that session.
All right, thank you. All right, executive session part 2, code section 30-4-70A1, discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee, a student, or a person regulated by public body, or the appointment of a person to a public body. However, if an adversary hearing involving the employee or client is held, the employee or client has the right to demand that the hearing be conducted publicly. Nothing contained in this item shall prevent the public body in its discretion from deleting the names of the other employees or clients whose records are submitted for the use at the hearing. Do we have a motion to go back into executive session? Motion by Mr. Shealy, second by Ms. Arrowood. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, we're going back into executive session. All right, we're good. I hear another door opening. All right, who would like to report out of executive session?
You want to do it, you want
I don't mind.
Okay.
I'd be glad to. County Council went into the executive session under Code Section 30-4-70A1 for discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee, a student, or a person regulated by a public body, or the appointment of a person to a public body. However, if an adversary hearing involving the employer or client is held, the employer or client has a right to demand that hearing be conducted publicly. Nothing contained in this item shall prevent the public body in its discretion from deleting the names of other employees or clients whose records are submitted for use at the hearing. Mr. Chairman, no action was taken in executive session regarding this.
All right, thank you, appreciate the reporting out. This time we go, obviously we move to public comments, so comments from a request from the county administrator. Any comments, Mr.?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just very, very briefly, but I did want to mention to you, we had earlier this week, Tuesday, I believe it was, our first stakeholders meeting, CPST. Karen Bremer led the discussion with those in attendance, which were municipality representatives and other nonprofit organizations that were in attendance, and did a very good job going through the procedures and what they can expect. And also, we have your first meeting with the council coming up on Monday the 8th, which will be the first time you begin to discuss what your priorities will be for the project list. So that'll be coming up next week. And then the commission orientation that you appointed along with the city of Newberry, that group will meet on Tuesday for its orientation meeting, Tuesday the 9th. So I just wanted to remind you that we had the first meeting, and those additional meetings are coming up next week.
All right, thank you, Mr. McDonald. Appreciate your input there. Comments or requests from council members, Mr. Scurry?
Nothing this time.
Mr. Reader?
Nothing.
Mr. Johnson?
Just what I said at the start, we got those, Danny and Kay and Jan all with cancer fights, and so certainly remember them at the sheriff's office.
Yes. Ms. Arrowood?
I didn't know that, so definitely want to remember him as well. Thank you for bringing that up.
Ms. Arrowood?
I have nothing.
Mr. Hill?
Just to make sure I understood, I didn't realize we had another meeting Monday, so we've got the.
I didn't either.
CPS
Neither till I saw
Monday
it.
at 6 o'clock. All right. Right, I just didn't, it didn't register with me. I mean, it was there, I just didn't register with me, so I got it now.
Who else will be out of town on that one?
I was supposed to be, but I'll see about delaying it a day.
I will be out of town.
I was supposed to be.
All right. Nick, comments from you?
No comments.
All right, I don't really have a whole lot of comments. I do have an update from somebody that's very special to us who is not here tonight. Ms. Fellers, I asked her, she reported to me on Friday, well, her daughter reported to me on Friday that surgery went well. She reported to me on Saturday that she was feeling a lot better, and today, I just texted her before we came here. She said, I'm feeling a little better each day. I can't do any bending, lifting, or twisting, no driving, and no housework. I have not felt any nerve pain since the surgery. My only pain is the surgery area, which he said would be painful for about 10 days, gradually improving. Overall, I think I'm doing great. She said, we'll miss you all tonight. So just keep her in your thoughts and prayers, too, as she continues to heal. And it seems like maybe the doctors were able to take care of her. So. All right, future meetings, as just mentioned, the CPST project priorities, 11/8/21 at 6 p.m. County council meeting on 11/17/21, and then another potential CPST project priorities on 11/22 at 6 PM. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor? We are adjourned. Thank y'all again.